Why don't this invisible man just ask Sam instead of asking you as if you know his heart?
What's up, Avery?
Hey, Hemi.
How's everything good?
Pretty good, man. I'm blessed by the Lord Jesus Christ, man.
All right,
And why we blessed? Because he is risen.
Because he's risen.
All right, so Avery, I'm not driving right now. I'm in front of my computer,
Perfect.
and I did pull up the verse that we went over last time, right? And just to let the other guests know, we were just discussing about scientific miracles in the Quran and like things that it had talked about that haven't happened. And then Avery said, "Well, is the opposite true if something is proven wrong?" And he brought up the verse of where it's in Surah Al-Kahf 1886, where the sun is setting in murky water. So I read that verse again in my head, but I didn't want to join your live right away. I just needed to do more research on it to see exactly where you're coming from. And the verse states that first off, it's talking about a story. So it's talking about a man. And when it talks about the sun is setting in water, they use the word wajada. So it's like wajada means that he saw it. He saw it. And when it's referring to he, it's talking about that the man saw it as if it's setting. And by the way, this is not a claim because
He found it.
Yeah, that he found it. And by the way, when the difference between a claim that God is making, it would have been it is setting. And again, this goes back to the lack of knowledge in the Arabic language. So that's
That's beautiful.
Slow down. Oh, yeah.
I just think that's beautiful. Okay, so basically, this is just the perspective of Alexander the Great, or the two horns, right? The two-horned man, right?
No one claimed
that's what you're saying.
Alexander the Great. Yeah, no one. That. Maybe someone claimed it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whoever the two-horned person is, you're saying that that's just his perspective. Okay, great. Now go to you said your computer's in front of you, right?
Yep.
Okay, if you go to Sunnah.com. Oh, Black Doctor already got it.
Somebody give me big screen.
He already got it.
Okay.
Check this out. Look at this hadith on the screen.
Okay.
All right. So this is saying Muhammad now was being asked where the sun sets, right? Muhammad was being asked where the sun sets. Abu Dhar is reporting this. And he said, Allah and his apostle know best. He said, it sets in a spring of warm water.
Okay. I do see that.
So it's not just the perspective of the two-horned man or Zulkarnain.
so-
It's not just his perspective, but this actually was something that Muhammad himself taught.
Okay, so
Muhammad brought it up.
I'm just gonna bring up two things. Number one, I'm not trying to hide or run away from anything, but when it comes to hadith, I do have to do my research on it, and I do have to look into it,
It's
which I'm doing right now as we speak. Okay, I understand that you might have done your research on it, but I wanted to stick to the Quran, to be honest with you. But we could definitely talk about hadith as well. I mean, I just want this conversation to move along.
Is that both the Hadith and the Quran say the exact same thing? That
Okay.
found the sun setting in murky water. Muhammad says that it's a fact that the sun sets in water. So it's they're compatible. They say the same thing.
Okay, I mean, it doesn't say the same thing because one is our prophets making a claim, right? Because the man in the hadith that you just showed, the man was asking our prophet about it, and our prophet said that. And by the way, this is a hadith that I have not authenticated, so
This is Muhammad asking him.
Muhammad is the one who brought it up, and it's Sahih.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I have to look. Okay, you're claiming it's sahih from what? Can you give me the
That's
book
what
and
it
the
says.
number?
Post it again. If you look
Yeah.
at the bottom, I'll make them big screen.
Yeah,
Al-Albani grades it as authentic.
Grade is Sahih. Sahih and change.
by who? By who?
Al-Albani.
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 Al-Albani. Okay.
And it's Sunan Abi Dawud as well. That's the book. So he thinks it's authentic. Abi Dawud and Al-Albani says it's authentic.
Okay, so
I'll tell you what, Hemi, don't violate the one rule.
What's the one rule?
The one rule is this, my friend, and I'll keep it short for you. Nobody throws Allah, Muhammad, or the Islamic scholars under the bus. If anyone's gonna throw any of those guys under the bus, let me tell you what, Henry, it's gonna be me.
Let me tell you. Let me clarify something for you. We follow the book of Allah, and listen. This is what I do. I don't care about who scholar, what scholar. The greatest of scholars have had mistakes in their work. So it doesn't matter. A scholar does not matter to me. What matters is the book of Allah and the hadith. And by the way, the hadith cannot contradict the book of Allah.
This
not the vice versa. Not the vice versa.
So Henry, you see how that Muhammad is in perfect alignment with the verse about the sun setting in water, right?
Exactly.
So you are saying that, but my point is, I'm not taking the hadith into my. I'm not okay. Number one, I'm not taking the hadith word for word because number one, again, I have to go back to it and read it in Arabic and translate it in Arabic and get the exact meaning.
That's what I say, Henry. I would say that you maybe then shouldn't say anything else about this subject until you have done that. Okay?
Yeah, I will. You didn't bring that up last time, but now that I know that there's a hadith, I'm gonna look into it. My question to you, Avery, though, with that given, let's just say that.
Let's talk about the
maybe.
now.
No. I'm saying it to move the conversation along. I understand this is live. People are watching. My point is,
I want to talk about the subject.
how come there are more truthful? Okay, one wrong thing about science in Islam.
Hear me.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I want to talk about the subject now. So now that that's finished, let's
Okay.
now talk about the main subject of the live stream.
Okay, so Jesus was crucified. Brother Avery, with all due respect, the subject of the screen has to do with whether Islam is correct or Islam is wrong at the end of the day. Because we're the only ones that say that he's not crucified, other than the rest of the world believes it. We are the only ones that claim that because we have received knowledge from what we believe is God, right? Who we believe the Quran is from God, and in the Quran it says that he wasn't crucified. So the whole
What can I ask you this? What
Yes.
happened? What happened to Jesus?
Okay, so I can't tell you anything other than the Quran. What the Quran
tell
says.
me what the Quran says. Yeah, tell me
It
what
says
the
that
Quran
he
says.
was replaced by a man that looks like him to get crucified.
Is that what the Quran says?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Hold on.
Chapter 4, verse 157, my brother. It doesn't say that in the Quran.
Because I want to show you that what the Quran accuses us of, you
verse
as Muslims
what?
are actually guilty. 157. 157.
Yep, I'm pulling it up.
Okay. So you're gonna now what you just threw under the bus, your scholars, you're gonna have to appeal to your scholars to interpret this because they're all over the place when it comes to interpreting this.
Well, you won't have to throw the hadith under the bus because there is none about this.
Actually, there's some hints. There's some hadiths that have a hint on this. Isn't there?
Yeah, we got some hints. Yeah. Yeah, some hints.
Oh, you naughty! You surprise me.
There's a Sahih hadith, and maybe Black Doctor, you can get this.
Yeah.
Where Muhammad talks about a prophet who was being beaten by his own people, and tells them,
Right? Yeah.
And he says something like, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." I wonder what that sounds like.
I'm looking into it now.
Okay. Because we got a lot of questions, a lot of questions about this verse.
Okay.
A lot of questions.
And listen, if I don't have the proper knowledge to answer those questions, I'm not gonna.
Then we'll hold you accountable, and we will never become Muslims.
It's fine. It's fine. It's using things like that. By the way, it's saying that we'll never become Muslims. Listen, man, it's okay. If you don't want to become Muslims, that's like me saying I'll never become Jesus because of something that someone else does. I'll never become Christian because of the lack of knowledge of a human, right? Let's just see somewhere that your whole point of this is you want to spread the truth. You would never want to.
Our whole point, Henry, is that we have the truth and evidence that backs up one position, while the opposing position has no evidence and no answers, and that's what's keeping us from, switching positions. We're gonna stick with the side that has all the evidence and the in the backup, the substance.
All right.
Okay, so it says that Isa was resurrected. Not resurrected. He was risen up. That he was risen up to the. Because I'm looking at commentary right now.
He was resurrected, boy.
He was resurrected.
You're close, Hemi.
Listen, don't get me wrong. Don't you think
he's close to the kingdom?
Even the fact that you guys use the word resurrected, don't you see a link there somewhere that resurrected means that he has risen up to God, and the Islamic belief is that he has risen up to God.
No, that's not a resurrection.
There's no resurrection, but there is the fact that both the actions.
Hemi. That's not a resurrection. That is an ascension to rise up.
Okay, ascension. Agree. So we believe that he was risen to God. Yes. And I believe from Hadith it was that he was replaced by a man looking like him.
The Hadith doesn't say that.
Or in the Quran. Okay, I'll have to bring you the evidence then.
You said you wanted to read the verse. Did you read the verse?
Yes, I read the verse.
Okay, so what does the verse say? Before we get to what the commentaries say, what does the verse say?
All right. So we killed the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of Allah, but they neither killed or crucified. It was only made to appear so. Even those who argue for this crucifixions are in doubt. They have no knowledge whatsoever, only making assumptions. They certainly did not kill him. Rather, Allah raised him to himself, and Allah is the Almighty and All-Wise.
Okay, so the question was, what happened to Jesus? Based on this verse, what happened to him?
So it was made to look like he was crucified, but in reality, Allah raised him to himself.
Wow, what happened?
Yeah, what exactly happened though? So Allah made it appear, but what does that look like? Let's say we're back in the first century, where we see this. I don't know what you believe in happened, but something made it appear to the people that he was crucified. What exactly happened?
Okay, I mean, what answer do you want from me? Because if I don't have the knowledge, like I said, I won't be able to answer it.
I know. We're gonna hold you accountable, and we'll never become Muslims if you don't answer.
I mean, that's fine. Listen, you can hold me accountable all you want. God sees the truth at the end of the day.
You're making Islam look bad.
I am not making Islam look bad. The lack of knowledge does not mean that God doesn't know what happened. It just means
God doesn't know what happened.
Listen. You weren't there, bro. You weren't there. You can't.
God told you what happened, bro.
No. Listen, Avery. You guys are basing everything off of that Christianity is the truth. I'm gonna be basing everything off of that Islam is the truth.
No,
this conversation
off of the evidence. The evidence is that God spoke in history, and He told us thousands of years ago that He's going to come in the flesh, and that He's going to give His life up as a ransom for mankind. That's what He told us before Jesus was even born. We then get to the gospel, and we see that Jesus gives his life up as a ransom and is crucified under Pontius Pilate, given up and betrayed by the Jews, and he rises again on the third day. Then we see that his disciples and followers, and even non-believers, say that they saw him resurrected, that he visited them.
Where's your validity? Where's your validity to this truth?
I just gave it to you.
No, you didn't. All you did was...
So now when we have this long stretch of evidence of witnesses saying the same thing, having the same thread and same message.
A big game of telephone.
You have all these people who all say that Jesus was crucified under Pontius Pilate. Everybody says this except the Muslims. When you have no answers, no proof, no backup for nothing, why you go to a position like that?
So you're basing your answer, your salvation on a big game of telephone.
On evidence.
On a game of telephone.
On evidence.
Yeah, on a big game of telephone from 2,000 years ago.
Evidence. What is your evidence to the contrary?
Exactly.
There we go. That's okay. What's my evidence? My evidence is that the Quran is a miracle, and it shows it. Let me explain that.
We show you scientific errors.
Let me explain that. If you
we show you
cannot
scientific
prove,
errors, how can it be a miracle?
it doesn't have scientific errors.
We showed you.
No, you didn't.
It says the
You,
sun sets in water. That's
it doesn't.
literally
It doesn't.
impossible.
The Quran says that someone saw the sun as if it
not
was
that
setting
he
in
saw
water.
it, he found it. He
No,
found it.
wajada. You have to go back to the word wajada. Listen,
Yeah, it means he
Yeah,
found.
it means he found.
Avery, I just came into the stream just to tell you one thing.
I'm not interested in the one thing you came to tell me. You have
Okay.
no evidence to back up your Muslim position. That's the
Yes,
point.
I do. Yes, I
So then
do.
what is your evidence that Jesus was not crucified?
My evidence is
happened?
that it was mentioned in the Quran, and the Quran itself is a book sent from God. Therefore, I do not need to know the whole story to know that that claim in there is correct.
All right,
And the
hey,
Quran,
So all you have is conjecture.
Hey,
All you
Amy.
have is conjecture.
It's not conjecture. It's not conjecture.
Respectfully, hear me? Look,
yes.
I'm gonna just let you know the reality of your situation, my friend.
Go ahead.
You have. I'm gonna preface it by saying this. In the 2 times that we've spoken, I see that you have a good heart and you desire good conversation. But this is the reality.
Yes.
You are in a position where you are defending nothing but a claim with nothing. All you have is a claim. The Quran is a miracle. The Quran is the word from God. Therefore, I believe it, with nothing to back it up.
Yes, I do.
You believe Jesus was not crucified because the Quran claims he wasn't crucified. Nothing to back it up. It's just a claim. You're going against all of history. You're going against all of historical scholars. You're going against all the prophets. You're going against the gospel and Jesus himself. You
not.
have nothing to stand on unless
I'm
you
not,
stand on the Torah and the gospel.
All you're presenting in that case is the Torah and the gospel as your evidence, as a chain of narrations as your evidence. Where that
No, you admitted that everybody says this except for Muslims.
But that's not liable sources. Just because everybody says something does not mean it to be true.
What makes it not reliable?
What makes it not reliable is because, number one, you don't know where this information came from.
We do.
You simply don't.
We
You
do. It comes from the prophets, Isaiah, Zechariah, Daniel, Malachi, the Torah. It comes from the gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the epistles, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 1 Peter, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, comes from the book of Revelation. It comes from Josephus, the Jewish historian, who says Jesus was crucified under Pontius Pilate. Tacitus, a
those
Roman,
books were not
who says that
conserved.
Jesus was crucified under Pontius Pilate. And it comes from liberal, non-Christian, non-religious historians who all agree, without a shadow of a doubt, that Jesus was crucified on Pontius Pilate because of these sources.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Okay, let me explain something to you. Number one, you have brought forth a bunch of texts that have not been preserved throughout history, and this is not something you need to take my word for. This is something that Christian scholars claim. That
Give me one. Give me one Christian scholar that says that our scriptures is not
hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, okay.
And other
No,
than
bring
that,
the scholar. Just bring the scholar.
Don't say nothing else. Give me the Christian scholar who says our Bible is not preserved.
Just that name. Give us that name. Do you see someone called Warren in the queue?
Warden?
Yeah, Warden, I think. Yeah.
I see warden of the world.
Someone said that that's the Jehovah's Witness who wants to talk to us.
Okay, all right, for sure.
After this guy, or whatever. Yeah, whenever you want to take him.
Yeah.
I just want to let him know that we're going to take him to his Jehovah's Witness interlinear. So just be prepared for that. Big, you got the name?
not yet. Hold on.
I have to it's fun. Isn't it funny that he just threw his scholars under the bus? That he didn't like what they said. He can throw them under the bus.
No, by the way, I didn't say I don't like what they said. I said they could be mistaken. So we have to understand something.
Okay, but this scholar who you're looking up can't be mistaken though. This scholar you're looking up can't be mistaken, right?
No, he can. He can.
Okay.
And this is why, I mean, going
But
back to
we
this.
still want to get his name, though. We still want to get his name.
I just want a name.
Just bear with me.
Just please don't say Bart Ehrman, because you said Christian scholar.
Okay, yes, I did.
Ja, you know better than that.
I know any name that's like a Western side name that's a Christian. They think Hollywood is Christian.
Best and only
They think Hollywood is Christian.
Oh man.
They think Hollywood is Christian. Like the Muslims think just because it's not a Muslim name, they're Christian.
You took his only source, Jai. Now he's gonna starve.
Come on, Ja, that was a rookie move, man.
Rookie mistake.
Mistake, man. Let them do it.
That's what they do.
Let them grasp at the straws.
You guys are funny. You guys are funny.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
gonna say
Appreciate it. Hey, man, we gotta laugh or keep from crying how bad your arguments are.
Hey,
I mean, you haven't even let me speak anything about what I wanted to speak about, but I understand that we have to stick to the subject. But the subject has to do with that.
you did speak about it though. You said you weren't familiar with the hadith, so now you're gonna look it up. You said.
Yeah, so give us a name.
I would have at least one name if I was gonna say Christian scholars say. I would just have at least one name.
Yeah,
Off my head.
If it's multiple.
Listen, I never intend to get in arguments or into like squirrels, and like I don't save all the research that I do every day. I'm like I don't have it readily available right now. I didn't come in here to have an argument. I just wanted to clarify one thing.
You haven't researched, dude. Don't act like you researched this. You never researched this subject. You never have. Be real.
You just heard some Muslims say the Bible hasn't been preserved. And
No,
that's
I
what you-
didn't.
that's what
I
you heard.
didn't. I was listening to the podcast with the person himself. With
What
the person. And that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to go into my history to find it, but
A Christian was the Muslim interviewing him?
no, he was actually just on a I forgot what time. I think it's his own podcast, but he was just on a podcast just talking about theology and history and things that match up and things that don't match up.
And he's saying the Bible is not preserved.
He's saying like word from word what was written down thousands of years ago is not what we have today.
I wonder. I wonder what's the name of this podcast.
Yeah, it's called the Dawa.
Listen, I mean, I could always pop back in here and put it in when I find it, but
Yeah,
I just want.
Yeah, come back when you find it. Okay.
I got you. Just give me some time. I'll talk to you guys later. Avery, it's always good talking to you, man. You have a blessed rest of your day.
You too, man.
It's okay, Hemi. I am a patient man. I'm willing to wait all day for you, bro.
We'll pray for you, man. Pray that the Lord saves you.